few more breaths like that, breathing in through the nose, out an open mouth. In this reclined position, with every exhale, feel the body soften, release tension, release stress, making yourself available for a time of connection. I want to read you a devotion from Jesus Calling. And I just love it. It goes so well with what's happening right now. It says, "Be still in the light of my presence while I communicate love to you. There is no force in the universe as powerful as my love. You are constantly aware of limitations, your own and others, but there is no limit to my love. It fills all of space, time, and eternity. Now you see through a glass darkly, but someday you will see me face to face. Then you will be able to experience fully how wide and long and high and deep is my love for you. If you were to experience that now, you would be overwhelmed to the point of feeling crushed. But you have an eternity ahead of you, absolutely guaranteed, during which you can enjoy my presence in unrestricted ecstasy. For now, the knowledge of my loving presence is sufficient to carry you through each day. For now, the knowledge of my loving presence is sufficient to carry you through each day." Continuing to breathe slowly and deeply. Allowing yourself to remember that God's loving presence is with you right now. And it is enough. It is sufficient to carry you through this day and every other day. Resting in that knowledge, breathing that in. I want to invite you to bring the soles of the feet together. So bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees splay open. Now, if it's too much, you can support the underside of your thighs with rolled up blankets or towels or blocks if you have them. You could also do one leg at a time. So you might extend one leg and just have the other bent with the foot to the inside of the thigh. I'll have you switch in just a few moments, but just settle into the shape. Just let time, breath, and gravity help you begin to soften, to allow the muscles to release their grips on the bones, to bring space and softness. If you have one leg extended, go ahead and switch legs. Just settle in, breathing into those hips, breathing into the heart. As I mentioned earlier, when we're in that space of fight or flight, our breath is shallow and fast and irregular. So find a nice, slow, steady rhythm for your breath. This also counters the shape of stress, which is like a fetal position. Here we're opening the heart and opening the hips, countering the effects of stress on the body. Good job. Go ahead and begin to bring those knees toward each other with the feet on the floor. Bring the feet to the edges of your mat. Take your arms out to the sides like wings with the palms facing upward. And then we're going to slowly begin to tick-tock the knees from side to side. So exhale as you release the knees to one side. Inhale as you come back up to center. Exhaling, taking them to the other side. Go slow. Link your breath and your movement together. It's very calming, very reassuring for our nervous system. In 1 Peter chapter 5, it says, cast all your concerns on God, for he cares for you. In other translations, it says, cast all your worries on God, all your anxieties on God, for he cares for you. So as if you could just breathe those right out of your body, letting them go, giving them to God. Next time the knees go to the right, just allow them to release to the right. Check in with that left shoulder. It might want to lift up, so release that left shoulder down. Maybe take your gaze over your left fingertips. Just a little twist into the neck. Check in with your breath. Slowly begin to bring the knees back up. Feet are still wide. And then we'll take the knees over to the other side. Again, check in with that right shoulder. Maybe gaze over that right hand. And just breathe. Twists are great for helping us cleanse and detoxify. So imagine it's like you're wringing out a dirty washcloth here, letting go of what no longer serves you, toxic thoughts, emotions, letting go of fear, worry, doubt. Breathe it right out. 70% of our toxins leave the body through the breath. The rest is through digestion or through skin, through our sweat, but 70% through the breath. So imagine you're just letting all of that stuff go. Slowly bring those knees back up. And we're just going to move over slightly to remove anything that was underneath our back out of the way. So just release that. And then we'll come back onto the back, the knees bent, the feet will be about hip-width distance apart. Bring your hands alongside your hips in a bridge preparatory position. I can speak. So bridge prep, feet are about hip-width distance apart. And then we'll press down into the feet to engage those legs. Draw your navel toward your spine and flatten your back. So it's like we're trying to press our low back into the floor behind us. On the inhale, allow the spine to arch. So you're going to create space, like you could slide your hand underneath your back. So creating an arch in the spine. On the exhale, flatten the back, press the navel into your spine, low back to the floor. On the inhale, arch the spine, creating a little lift, space between your back and the floor. Do a few more like this. These pelvic tilts are so great for the hips and the low back. So lots of breath here. Next time we flatten the back, we're going to press into those feet. And then on the inhale, begin to lift your hips. Maybe lift your hands at the same time. So the hands start to lift toward the ceiling as the hips lift up. Maybe those hands come all the way overhead. And then on the exhale, slowly lower the hips and lower the hands. Start from the top and work your way down. This tail will come down last. Inhale, lifting, sacrum, low back, mid back, upper back. Exhale, releasing, upper back, mid back, low back, sacrum. Few more like this, moving with your breath. Just flowing here. And exhaling, releasing. Let everything go. Beautiful. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Go ahead and bring the right knee in toward your chest. You can interlace your hands just below the knee or behind it, just depending on what feels good for you today. While you're here, go ahead and begin to point and flex your foot. Just creating some movement in the foot and the ankle. And then relax the foot. And using your hands, we're going to draw circles with our knees. So we're going to open up into the hip. Circling the knee around. Doesn't matter which way you go, we'll do both. So after you've done about 2-3 times in one direction, go ahead and unravel it and go in the other direction. I mentioned earlier, the hips get really tight with stress. Come back to the center, and then we'll interlace our hands behind the hamstring and take the right heel high toward the ceiling. Good, now we'll circle the foot. So drawing circles on the ceiling with your foot. Know that the speed of your circles reflects the speed of your mind. So can you slow down your thoughts? Can you slow down the mind by slowing the circles? Go in the other direction. Try to find that full range of motion available in that ankle. Beautiful. And then just flex the toes back toward the nose, heels lifting. With your right hand, go ahead and take a hold of your right leg, and we're going to open it out to the right. Stay grounded through the left side. So left foot, hip, shoulder, all stay grounded. Just releasing that leg, opening it up, stretching out the inner thigh here. And then on the inhale, bring that leg back up. We're going to drape the right knee over the left knee. So you're just going to cross your legs. Take the arms out to the sides like wings, and we'll release the knees over to the left. Bigger, deeper stretch here. Bigger twist. Use your breath. On the inhale, bring the knees back up. Unravel the legs. Both feet are on the floor, knees are bent. And then we'll go ahead and draw the left knee in. Interlace the hands either below the knee or behind it. Point and flex the foot here. You might hear some popping and cracking. You might hear my popping and cracking. And then relax the foot and start to draw circles with the knee. Circling it around, finding the edges of that hip joint. Go in the other direction. Unraveling, go about the same number of times. And then we'll go ahead and interlace the hands behind the hamstring, taking the foot high, and then draw circles on the ceiling with your foot. Nice and slow, take your time. Continue to breathe here. Can you allow your faith to be greater than your fear? Can you be reminded of the power of God's love? Can you rest in God's love and allow that to be your foundation? Go in the other direction. And then flexing the foot. Hold on to that leg with your left hand. We're going to open the leg out to the left. Take a few breaths here. In Ephesians chapter 3, verses 16 through 19, it says, I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. On the inhale, bring that leg up. Drape it over your right leg. So we're crossing left over right, arms out to the sides, and then release the knees to the right. Big twist here. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power together with all the saints to grasp how wide and how long and how high and how deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. Breathe that in. Slowly begin to bring the knees back up. Unravel both legs. Give your legs a nice hug here. So the hands wrap around the outsides of the legs or behind the knees, rocking a little from side to side. Maybe circle the knees. You can circle them together, or you can circle them separately, where the knees come apart and then back together. You choose what feels good. Moving with grace and ease. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, you can go ahead and roll to one side. Just pause there for a moment. Just staying in a fetal position for a breath or two. Good. Now, as you're ready, make your way up onto all fours. So you might choose to have a blanket or a towel underneath the knees to support the knees. The knees will be directly underneath the hips with the toes tucked for the moment. Take your hands, fan them wide, and then we'll place them on the mat about shoulder width distance apart, or maybe slightly wider. Index fingers point forward or they angle toward the front corners of your mat. Good. And then we're gonna start to bring some organic movement to the spine. So you can bring the tops of the feet to the floor or keep them tucked however you wish, but then we'll just begin to kind of wiggle the hips from side to side, move the head around. Imagine that your spine is like a rope. See if you can not replicate the same movement twice. And so move the shoulders, move the hips, move the head, maybe take your gaze to your feet. Maybe doing a little kind of cat-cow action around the spine. Arch the spine. Just finding some beautiful movement. Come back to the center. And the inhale, lift the tailbone up, press the navel down, slide the heart forward and lift your crown. On the exhale, gently curl the tail under, draw the navel in, round your back, chin to chest. Move like this a few more times. Arching the spine on the inhale, rounding the spine on the exhale. Let the movement begin at the tail and ripple up the spine. It ends at the head. Come neutral with the spine. We're going to press into that left hand and sweep the right arm high. Reach it up. On the exhale, we're going to thread the needle. We're not going to stay here just yet. So just pause. And then inhale, press, coming all the way back up again. Reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, thread the needle. This time we are going to stay here. So resting down on your right shoulder and ear. Left hand can be on the floor. You can walk that left hand forward if that feels good to you. You might choose to reach that left arm up or wrap it around. Keep breathing. Stretching into those shoulders, another area that gets really tight from stress. Bring that left hand back underneath the left shoulder, and then we'll stretch and reach up one more time. Right hand high, and then float it down. Ground into that right hand on the inhale. Left hand reaches up. Exhale, thread the needle. barely touching down. Inhale, stretch and reach. Left hand high. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale, thread the needle. Good, last one, and then we'll stay there for a few moments. So this time, thread the needle, fingertips to the right, lowering down onto the left ear and shoulder, maybe walking that hand forward, maybe wrapping it around the back. Whatever feels good to you, breathe here. Bring that right hand back toward you. Press into the hand and sweep that left hand up one more time. Beautiful. Exhale, float that hand down. Let's walk the hands up a little bit toward the front of the mat. Then we'll just begin to kind of rock back and forth, bringing the hips forward, shoulder stack over those wrists. Exhale, take it back into a child's pose variation. I'm just going to rock back and forth like this. Only go as far as feels safe for your body. Listen to your body. Beautiful. And then we'll take it back to child's pose. So take those knees wide, maybe bring the toes together, let your tail come toward your heels. You can walk your hands out, really stretch here, or maybe you stack the hands and rest the forehead on the hands. This is your rest position. This is a great place to come anytime when you need a break during class. So I mentioned earlier in this verse from Ephesians, it says that Christ may dwell in our hearts through faith. And the word faith is the word pistis. It means conviction of the truth of anything or belief. The conviction that God exists and is the creator and ruler of all things. A strong and welcome conviction or belief that Jesus is Messiah, or trust and confidence in God or Christ. So this idea about faith is that we can rest in the knowledge that God is with us, that God is for us, that God is the creator and ruler of all things. We can have confidence in that. We can trust in that. And it allows us to cast our worries on God. Psalm 55 verse 22 says, "Cast your burden on the Lord and he will sustain you." Have faith that that is true. Believe. Slowly begin to come up. We're going to bring the knees so they're about hip width distance apart. Walk those hands back toward you and we'll stand up on our knees. Step your left foot forward. This is a great place for blocks. If you have them, you may use them, but if not, don't worry about it. You just bring your hands to the floor, or you could have your hands on your knee. But we're going to begin to just rock back and forth here. Maybe let the toes curl up as you come back, straightening and bending that left knee. So coming back and forth between this low lunge and low pyramid. Next time you come forward, we'll tuck the toes of that back foot and come up a little bit into more of a runner's lunge position. You can always keep that right knee on the ground though, so this is always an option. You can stay there for sure. Go ahead and take your right hand to the inside of that left foot. It'll be right underneath your shoulder on a block or the floor. And then reach your left hand forward. Lots of breath. Take your gaze to your hand and we're going to draw big circles with that left hand. So reach it up and behind you, taking a twist here. So big circles with that left hand. Keep that left hip tucked in. Don't let it kick out to the side. And then go in the other direction, reaching all the way up and over. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Float the hands down. Pivot that back foot so it's on an angle and it's mostly parallel with the back of your mat. Make sure your left knee is tracking with your left foot. Bring your forearm to your thigh and make sure you're not dumping into that shoulder. So lift up. We're going to lift the right shoulder, opening the heart, lift the right hip. And then reach that left hand high, side angle. Breathe here. Maybe you want to reach up and over. Just don't let the shoulder creep up by the ear. Maybe you're reaching up. Gaze can be at the floor, the sidewall, or toward the hand. On the inhale, let's come on up. Left hand forward, right hand back, about shoulder height. Front knee is tracking with your front foot, pressing to the outer blade of that back foot. Shoulders relax away from those ears, gazes over your front hand, breathe. Warrior two. So can you be a warrior for faith, rooted and grounded in love, like our scripture told us? Root down, ground down into that. Let that be your foundation, your stability, your strength. Turn the left palm up and we're going to reverse this. Take the left hand high. You might straighten that front leg and really open this up, or maybe you recommit to the bend in that leg and sink down. Check in with your breath. On the exhale, come back up to warrior two. Feel strong and steady. Trust and confidence is about security, stability, groundedness. Good, reach those hands all the way down to the floor, coming back on the ball of that back foot. And this time we'll step that back foot forward. Feet will be about hip width distance apart. That's like 2 fists to the insides of your feet. Bend the knees deeply, let your rib cage and your belly rest on your thighs. Release the head down. On your inhale, take your hands to your shins, lift halfway for length. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you." When our minds are steadfast, when we trust God, there is a peace that transcends all understanding and all circumstance. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, sweep high, ride that breath all the way up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then exhale, bring hands to your heart. Beautiful. We're going to do those a couple of those. So inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge forward at the hips, fold it out. Inhale, lift halfway for length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up to standing, press into those feet, root down to rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold, bow out, bend the knees. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, lift halfway. And this time we're going to step our left foot back. Bring the left knee to the floor. Toe heel your right foot forward just enough that you have a stretch here. Hands can be on blocks, on the floor, or on your knee. And then we're just going to rock back and forth, straightening into that front leg and then bending it. Hips come back and forth. Maybe let the toes curl up as you come back. Breathe as you move. You're starting to release and open those hips. Can our mind be steadfast? Can it be steady? Can we focus on the things that matter and not get discouraged, not become fearful, not become anxious, but to trust, to secure ourselves, to anchor ourselves through faith and trust. Slowly come back. This time we'll tuck the toes if that feels inviting to you. We'll take the left hand to a block or to the floor, and then reach the right hand forward. Take your gaze to your hand, and we're going to draw big circles. So stretch and reach that right hand. You can take your gaze with your hand if that feels okay for your neck. Go in the other direction. Make the circles as big as you can. Really loosen up those shoulders. And then float that hand down. Pivot the back foot so it's on an angle. And then again, that front knee is tracking with your front foot. Bring the forearm to your thigh. And we'll want to lift up through this left hip and left shoulder. Reach the hand up. Again, you might want to take it up and over, just depending what feels good for your body. Just watch the shoulder doesn't creep up by the ear. Check in with your breath here. Firmly grounded, firmly rooted. And then slowly rise up. Right hand forward, left hand back. Front knee tracking with that front foot, sink in. Where's your breath? Turn your right palm upward, float that left hand down, and we'll reverse this. Reverse warrior. Again, you can straighten that front leg if you'd like to. Call that exhausted warrior. Right now we are in exalted warrior. Either way, be where you need to be. On the exhale, come back to warrior two. Lots of breath. Bring your hands to your hips, and we're going to pivot to face wide on our mat. So your toes will be wide, your feet will be wide, your toes will be angled forward or slightly in. And then we're going to hinge at the hips. So allow the hips to come back, leading with the heart, nice flat back as you come down. Fold it out here. Take a few breaths as you allow the crown to fall toward the floor, the tail lifts. Dumping your cares and your worries, letting go of that stuff that doesn't serve you, let it just roll right out of you. On the inhale, lift halfway for length. Nice long stretch here. And then angle the toes outward now. So the toes will point out, heels are slightly in. Bring your hands to your thighs. Beautiful. We're going to do a few cat-cows here. So on the inhale, lift the tail, press the navel down, slide the heart forward, lift your crown. Big back bend. On the exhale, tuck the tail under, draw the navel in, round your back, chin to your chest. Inhale, lift that tail, arch the spine, press the heart forward, lift your gaze. Exhale, curl, tuck, and round it out. Beautiful. Keep moving like this. Exhale. Come neutral with the spine, and then we're going to come up. Keep the legs as they are. So those knees are bent, they're pointing toward the toes, stepping over your feet. Ears stuck over shoulders, shoulders over your hips. So check in on that. And then bring the arms up into cactus arms. Good. Draw the shoulders back, hugging the shoulder blades together. And then on the exhale, bring the palms to face you as you bring the arms to touch. Inhale, elbows come back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, palms face you, arms come together. Beautiful. A few more like this. Opening the heart, opening the shoulders, breathe. And then we're going to come to the center. We're going to do something called Taoist breathing. It's an opportunity to make an exchange through the breath and through movement. So what cares, what worries, what anxieties can you release and let go of here? On the inhale, lift something up, straightening the legs. Crisscross the hands behind. Exhale, let's push it out. Inhale, take a big scoop of faith, trust, love, light. Bring it into your heart. Sinking low. Inhale, sweep up, straighten the legs, crisscross. Let's get rid of something. Exhale, push it out. Inhale. Take a big scoop of what you'd like in its place. Get a little divine kiss, draw it in. Inhale, sweep, coming up. Crisscross, exhale, push. Inhale. Coming up. Beautiful. Cast all your cares, all your worries on him, for he cares for you. Let him go, let him roll. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Crisscross, push out. Inhale. And exhale. All right, we're going to hang out here just for a couple breaths. So take a moment, sinking in. Nice long straight spine. Shoulders back and down, heart nice and open. Breathe. Beautiful job. Toe heel the feet a little closer together. So just still angling the toes out. And then we're going to come down. So if you are healing in your knees and deep knee bends are not your thing, you could take a couple blocks and create a little seat for yourself if you want. We're going to bring the forearms to the thighs here. You might stay here. This might be it. If it's available, begin to bring the elbows to the insides of those knees or thighs. And then maybe you can begin to bring the tail down. So maybe you're sitting here on some blocks, or maybe not. Maybe you're hovering above the earth. Just try to bring your body so it's nice and straight. Heart is opening, shoulders back and down. Breathe. Just opening into those hips. Isaiah 41 verse 10, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Just remember, God is with you. Don't be afraid. Don't be dismayed. He will strengthen you. He will help you. He will uphold you. Beautiful. We're going to slowly bring ourselves down. So you can move blocks out of the way if you want. We're going to lower down onto our seat. And then we'll come into a simple seated position. So if you would like to, and you have maybe tighter hips or tighter hamstrings, you might take a blanket or a rolled up towel underneath the seat. So just bring the edge of your seat to the edge of that blanket. Now, if simple seated, sitting like this, is just too hard on your knees, you can always place something underneath those knees, or you could just do one leg. Halfway through, we'll switch. Okay? So give yourself the space, the freedom to do whatever feels right for your body. Sitting up nice and tall here, we're going to do some shoulder circles first. So lifting the shoulders, rolling them back and down. You might hear some popping and cracking, especially if you've been real tight and bound up in your shoulders. And then take it in the other direction. Beautiful job. And then go ahead and bring them up towards your ear. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, just let them fall. Do 2 more like that. Lift, 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 squeeze. Exhale, let them go. 1 more. Inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Up by the ears. Doesn't that feel great? This is how we walk around all day. Exhale, release. That feels so much better. Awesome. Let's do some head circles as well. So bring your left ear toward your left shoulder. Round forward. Over to the other side, and maybe even coming back. Go really, really slow here. Listen to your body. Be mindful of your body in this moment. Check in with your breath. And then go in the other direction. Circling the head. Releasing the neck. Maybe with a nice open jaw. Also releasing the jaw. And come back up. Beautiful. We're going to do torso circles now. So begin to come forward, over to the other side, kind of rounding back, coming forward, side to side. Breathe it out. Doesn't it feel good to move? Take it in the other direction. So here's the thing, you guys. Sometimes God calms the storm. Other times he calms the child. So in the midst of this storm, can you allow God to calm you? Coming forward just for a moment, maybe even bringing the hands to the floor here. It's a nice stretch into those hips. Good. Coming back. We'll switch sides. So if you had one leg extended, switch out legs. Otherwise, just switch out which foot is in front. Good. Ground yourself once again. Nice long straight spine. Feeling connected, plugged in. On the inhale, stretch and reach the arms up. On the exhale, float the left hand down, hinge left. On the inhale, come back up. Exhale, right hand down, hinge right. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, take it to the left. Inhale up. Exhale. Firmly anchoring ourselves gives us the ability to move, but not fly away in the midst of the storm. Stay anchored. Good. This time on the inhale, reach the arms up, and we're going to twist to the left. Bring that left hand behind you, right hand to the thigh or to the ankles in front. Length first, and then the twist. So lengthen, and then take your gaze over that shoulder if it's available. Keep your body orienting in this direction, and then bring your gaze back to the front and maybe over that right shoulder. Beautiful job. Bring the gaze back to the center and then slowly unravel the body. Come back to center. Good. On the inhale, reach up, get the length. Exhale, float the hands, taking that twist to the right. So left hand on your thigh or ankles, right hand behind. Gaze follows the twist, lots of breath. Keep your body orienting in this direction, and then bring the gaze back to the front and maybe over the shoulder. Again, make sure it feels safe for your body. Breathe here. Bring your gaze back to the center and then slowly unravel. Beautiful. We're going to do one more forward fold. Since we have the legs switched out, walk those hands forward. Breathe here. Nice job. Walk those hands back toward you. Bring the legs together. We'll do a few little cat-cows like this around the spine. Open the legs up, a little arch. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, arch the spine. Beautiful. And this time, exhale, round, and then lower yourself onto your back. You're going to make your way onto your back. Draw the knees to your chest. Again, maybe you're rocking here a few times. And then come into a full body stretch. So lengthen the entire body. Reaching and stretching. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale out an open mouth. Release the hands alongside your hips. Turn the feet out. Close your eyes and just settle in. If you need anything else to make you more comfortable for your final rest position, feel free to grab a blanket or a towel. Maybe you want it under your head, behind the knees, or over you. I want to read you a prayer that you can spend some time with here in these final moments of rest. By Dana Faulds, and it's from the book Prayers to the Infinite. It says, Lord, I give you body, mind, and breath. I give you my geographical preferences, my survival fears, my worries over money, livelihood, calling, faith, and fame. I give you my pain and weakness, and also my strength. I give you all the ingredients from which I concoct the myth of separation. I give you words and poems and personal stories. I give you my end and beginning, and most especially the middle, where I feel most stuck, suspended like a cloud floating nowhere in particular, when I'd rather be aimed straight at revelation. I give you my concept of truth and illusion and my clever metaphors. What's left? I give you emptiness and joy, grief at goings and comings and seasons. I give you my prayers along with my uneasiness, my certainty that you are listening, and my doubt. I give you my hope that I can influence any outcome. Finally, I give you my giving. Growing silent at last, I give you the silence. Just rest for a few moments in silence. Slowly begin to awaken the body. Perhaps bringing some movement to your fingers, your toes, maybe rotating wrists and ankles. Move the head from side to side, a slow awakening. Turning the head. Gently gather your knees toward your chest. Just rock a few times here from side to side, or circle the knees. Notice which side of the body you're breathing out of more easily, which nostril. Roll onto that side and just pause there for a moment or two. As you're ready, begin to press yourself up to a seated position. Take your time. Just finding a position that suits you. Bring your hands to your heart, where the joining of opposites heals all opposites. Let your fear, your anxiety, and your worry meet your faith. And allow your faith to be strengthened. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you so much for this time and all these beautiful people who decided to join me this morning, to be encouraged, to be lifted up, to be strengthened and fortified. Lord, where two or more are gathered, you are here in the midst. We thank you that your presence is always with us. Father, I pray for those of us who are feeling anxious, stressed, worried, that you meet us exactly where we are, that you calm us, that you help us to release those cares and worries to you, to give them to you, to give you all the uncertainty, all the doubt, all the insecurities that we're feeling right now. And Father, that you would just blanket us in your love, that would be enough right now. I thank you for all the lessons and all the blessings that are coming through this time. I thank you for being the anchor in the middle of the storm. Father, I pray that you keep all of us healthy, well, and safe, and that you attune our eyes to see the needs of others and use us, Father. We love you and we thank you. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you all for being here with me today. Have a blessed week. I will be uploading the recording of this class so you can listen to it or share it. So I'll be posting that on my Facebook page. And for those of you who registered through my website, I'll send you the link that way as well. So thank you guys for being here today. And until we meet again, be blessed.
Thank you, John.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Georgia.
Oh, I miss you.
I miss you too.
Awesome class.
Oh, thank you.